because, you know, and thank God at that time I was able to buy some Bitcoin at $7.50 and just make some smart moves. Um, but I didn't know what I wanted to do for a career. I had no idea. There was this HBO show called Newsroom, and I've always religiously watched the news. Watching the news back in the day was awesome because they would actually cover news. Now it's all political bullshit, right? It's like propaganda. Like there's no news anymore. But back then you could watch cable news and it wasn't all political stuff. It was actually news stories. And this show Newsroom came on HBO. It was so good. I was so into it. And when I watch a series, like if I'm watching Game of Thrones, like I feel like I'm in Game of Thrones. Whatever I'm watching, I get into it. So I was watching Newsroom, got obsessed with it. These people were Call of Duty people are fighting back and forth, so I started shoutcasting it on Twitter, right? And somebody goes, "You can make a hashtag," and one day I decided I should make a video on this so I can explain this, and that just went nuts, right? So no, I didn't set out to make a news empire, or, you know, or a news brand like that. I set out to have fun on the internet, you know, talk about people, talk about and it just turned into what it turned into.
Thinking about how you, where you want to go, like, you talked about where do you want to go? Like, you want to leave and like kind of be on the outside and have like gonna die when you don't love it.
I want to find somebody that absolutely loves this, that can like kind of take over Drumler, and let them run it or sell it to a company that will take it over, you know, do justice to it. Because, you know, I don't have a passion like I used to, right? You know, it's like everything, right? You know, it's something really sad when you say when you're doing something and you're learning it and you're trying to figure out, that curiosity makes it like so much fun, right? Curiosity is like I've exhausted that. Like I feel like when I make a video, every one of them is like almost perfect now. To the point where sometimes I slack and like literally don't try as hard as I can because I feel like I've mastered this. I'm ready for a new task. I'm ready to do something else. You know, like the gaming events, right? Like doing the gaming events was so much fun. Friday, Saturday, stuff like that. Being able to report more viewers than the actual esports events, and making everybody in esports hate my guts because I was just like stealing their shit. Stealing their clout. Like I didn't actually steal any of their stuff. I just was doing a better job. Stuff like that. Like I got that really good at it, like organizing that and putting it together. But now it's like I accomplished that. I don't really have the drive to make another gaming event, right? I want to do other things, and because you know Drumler, you know, has a fan base of 5 million subscribers, 3 million subscribers on Snapchat. I don't know what's going on with that, but because I have these people that depend on me for the news, I feel like I have to, right? I want to separate myself from people. There's so much other stuff I want to do. You know, I would come out with a music album just to see how far I can take it. I would. I'd create an entire fucking album, right? And it's probably gonna suck, but the next one's gonna be better. The next one's gonna be better. You know, I want to do a million other things. You know, the thing that makes any of us successful is curiosity. Figure out, you know, how far you can take something, and I'm constantly in that mode. I'm over here like learning how to do drywall and, you know, gardening. I'm doing a million different fucking things. Right now I'm building boxing cards that are going to be absolutely massive and take over the influencer boxing scene. I've got a boxing brand. It's like what base menu of the game, right? Half the fun is the social media boxing. I'm building an entire brand. You know, I'm just constantly trying to challenge myself. It's getting in the way. You know.
What happens on I love what you guys have done. I'm not always afraid of boxing, but there's one guy his name's Percival, and I absolutely love that guy, and I love his content. He's one of the best content that I've done.
Yeah, we bought Percy's company, and instead of hiring you for our let's just buy your company. So we bought out his company, and now he runs the Happy Punch YouTube channel and whatnot. And it's cool to just like, give some of these guys like opportunities like that. So that's the one thing I love about it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's exactly what I love about what you do is like no one else is tweeting out, hey, I got 2 hours, let me come on some small creative podcast. So like I got so many texts right when you sent me that is like this is game changing, and like but I've seen you do that many times over the years, is just help people out, and that's great, and I props to you for that.
I hate that I know this sounds corny, right? Because I'm definitely not at Justin Bieber's level, right? At all right?
Yeah.
But Justin Bieber has this one song called Lonely, right? Where he's talking about, because he's so wildly successful, right? Because he's so famous, he's secluded, right? He's lonely. He's fucking lonely because there's no one, everybody wants something from him or whatever, right?
Yeah,
So he can't
exactly.
have real friends. That is not me, all right? I never want that to happen. I talk to everyone, big or small. Like, people ask me all the time, like, why are you talking shit about this random person with 10 followers? I was like, because he was talking shit to me. You didn't see him talking shit to me? Yeah, but you're big and da-da-da. I don't fucking, we're both humans, bro. He's talking shit to me.
Yeah.
I'm talking shit back.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see it that way. And, with all the controversies and, drama and shit that I've had, like, throughout my career, I feel like I'm always going to have a fan base because, like, I just fucking say it how I think,
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people don't relate to what I'm saying, right? Because I'm like, I'm old, right? And I come from a different time frame than this 2022 Gen Z world, and this world is way different than a world that we lived in just a couple years ago, right? And while the whole world is changing, I'm just being me and still saying what I really think when no one else is doing that. So, some people love that and some people absolutely hate it.
Yeah. Do you feel anything about being in drama, like in the drama sphere all the time? Do you think it like negatively affects your everyday life, or have you known to separate, like, I'm gonna be in drama mode, but then I have, I'm gonna go hang out with my kid and just like I'm okay, like I'm not thinking
I mean, it's
about
pretty
it.
much like that. Like, I'll make a Twitter video just screaming out the top of my lungs, like, you're fucking this and da 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 da,
Yeah.
and fuck you for this, and then I'll put the phone down and I'll be riding on an ATV or hanging out having dinner. I'm not thinking about that at all. And then I'll come back and look at the messages, get back on, make another video, and then I'm just right back to, you have to, otherwise,
Yeah.
like, and there's two things going on. As much as I said, like, I'm saying what I really think and all that, also, I'm an entertainer, so you ham it up a little bit, so there is that element of that. So yeah, I don't know, in my real life, I'm constantly forgetting that I'm Keemstar.
Mhm.
There'll be, every time I go out in public, I get recognized, and every time I'm shocked. Like, it hasn't, I haven't gotten used to it. Like, it's like literally every time. I went through the McDonald's last night, and this kid's staring at me. I'm like, can I help you? He's like, oh my God, it's fucking him. Can I get a and I'm just like, oh yeah, I keep forgetting. I just forget. I don't know.
What was the point where everything changed? Because for me, you were always a far away, like unreachable entity in the space. But like, I want to know for you when things changed. Like was there a tipping point? And like, do you know like what, like maybe there's a video or like what era that was where it was like, oh, this is for real.
I don't really understand your question.
Like with your content and like being like getting bigger, like was there a point where it actually clicked in your brain that this is pretty big for me? Or maybe it was the whole time, it kind of just gradually, so it didn't really click in your brain at all, or is there?
Well, there is this moment that I have before I hit record on the camera, right? Like I'll set everything up, I'll do the work, and then right when I'm about to hit record, it's like I have this thought process that's like millions of people are about to hear what you have to say. And it's like it like puts me back a little bit, right? Like
yeah.
I actually haven't been having that feeling recently. Maybe I need to start having it again. Maybe I'll make my content better or something. I don't know. But that was an ongoing thing that would happen when we started peaking on YouTube, at least 1 million views every video, which I'd say that's like kind of like the 2016 around then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This might be maybe a hard question to think about, but do you have like what do you think was like your biggest consecutive news story? Like, do you have like the biggest one you can think of?
I would say, well, there's 2 of them that come to the top of my head, and they're old stories. There was this group called Lizard Squad Hacking Group,
yeah.
and they took down PlayStation, and they took down Xbox Live, like the network. They do
Remember
on Christmas.
Yep.
And so Kim.com offered them a bunch of money to like stop the attacks and all that. And so there was another hacking group that was like trying to attack them and expose them. It was a whole ordeal. And so I was interviewing Lizard Squad through this whole process, right? And I was covering all of this. And you know, a day after Christmas, when this was now national news, I interviewed Lizard Squad, the other hacking group, Kim.com, on Drumler, all together at the same time. So that was a huge story that was like kind of ongoing. But I would say Bashiverse, because the Bashiverse story just kept getting crazier and crazier and crazier. You know, there were all these people online that didn't like the fact that I was like calling him out, and he was guilty. Like, he was guilty of messing around with minors. There's an overwhelming amount of evidence against it, but because he was so many people liked him, right? He was able to continue this narrative that he's totally innocent. Everyone's lying about him, and then other YouTubers that didn't like me would just say that as well. So there's like this constant like battle. Even though I'm like, he got arrested for this. Like, here's the mugshot. Like, here's the newspaper. Like, he is guilty. Even though there was
kill him.
Undeniable proof, there was always this kind of conversation back and forth, and the story just kept getting crazier and crazier and crazier.
The boy got
his girlfriend
popped.
got labeled as a gold digger because once he got too much heat on him, she left him, and it was absolutely nuts. It was insane.
When stuff like big stories come out,
horny.
I'm pretty sure a lot of times you try to reach out to the creator.
Boys.
You try to reach out and like get a statement, right?
Boys.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
But how often are there things that you can't, like, that you promised you wouldn't say on the, like, is there a lot of times where you just know more that you can't say?
Oh my god, that's like every week.
Is that awful or what?
Well, I mean, the only reason why I have the access that I have and I can talk to anybody about anything is because they know.
Oh,
like,
you're welcome. This guy.
Shit, you know, unless they give me permission to go on air with it, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, when have you ever seen Keemstar secretly recording some YouTuber or, you know, leaking DMs? Like, I don't do that, right?
Absolutely.
At the reason why
fucked up, McClaw.
media and traditional news outlets don't have access like I have is because they're not fucking
This
YouTubers, they're not
guy.
creators, they're not on the level
Well, look at this
of other
fucking
creators.
homo!
I am. I was
Yeah.
actually fucking making videos and a content creator that had nothing to do with Dromler fucking a decade ago. And a lot of the creators that we see nowadays were fans of me when I was making gaming trolling videos, right? So it's
Yeah,
like,
bitch.
I'm on the same level
Oh fuck.
with many of these.
God damn it, you
creators,
fucking
and they
faggot.
grew up watching me, and they know that I'm not gonna do them dirty. So
Yeah. That's always my thought was that, like, I figured you knew a lot more than you could say, but I always felt like you never backstabbed.
well, it's like, imagine you're covering a story and you have a lot of stuff that you were told in private that you can't say.
Yeah.
Right? You can't say it, but anything public you can cover. But now that you know the truth, now you know what to look for, so you can accurately cover the story.
Yeah.
That's why Dromler is right, and then this guy is wrong, or that guy is wrong, and this guy is wrong, and you know, there's all these false narratives going around. It's because I actually have the insider information. I just can't put that person on record and say why. But I can present a theory to my audience and give them evidence to support that theory.
Yeah.
Not proof, evidence. And you know, a lot of my opinions that I have online in Twitter videos or on Dromler are based on me just having more knowledge than the average person.
Mm-hmm. Are you good if I ask you on some beef you got?
Sure.
What is? I've never understood the beef with H3. I think that's a
Oh!
big one. But you don't have to go through the entire thing, obviously. But
So
what's going on?
that guy started his podcast. Well, first of all, he was friends with Leafy. All right. And you know, he was friends with PewDiePie. He was friends with a lot of different creators. When he had an opportunity to dunk on Leafy, he took it, right? Because it was the #1 thing on Reddit. And so he kind of backstabbed Leafy. PewDiePie was the second person on his podcast, and then when PewDiePie said the N-word, you know, he backstabbed PewDiePie. Oh, that was so awful. That was this. And even though H3 was saying the N-word
Damn.
on his own podcast, I was the third person on his podcast, on the H3 podcast, and went there, met him, was open, had a conversation like I'm having with you. They were very nice. They were lovely to me. We had a great conversation. And when I left and got home and was back here in Buffalo, New York, the podcast went up, and some people were mad that they had me on the show because I'm a very controversial figure. They left a comment on their on the video, which was on YouTube, and they said, "I know some of you guys hate Keemstar. Don't worry, we hate him too." And I was like, "What the? I was just there. Tell me you hate me face to face. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just there. I was like," and so that kind of started a feud. But then H3 he got
Oh, it's
sued.
that homo.
And when he got sued, it was over him criticizing some guy's video, and you know, there's a whole issue with fair use and whatnot. And so Philip DeFranco started like a GoFundMe or whatever for H3 to help him win the case. I mean, H3 weren't on the best of terms at this point, but you know, I put my pride aside and did the right thing and donated $2,000 towards this thing to help, you know, him win this case.
Oh my
I
god.
even convinced Leafy, who was at war with Ethan, to donate $1,000. So I really campaign for people to win this thing for Ethan Combs. I thought it would be better for the website. Ethan uploaded a video to YouTube, and he basically said, "Hey, look, guys, we don't need all this money. You guys donated way too much money to us, so we're gonna set up a fund called the FUPA Fund to help anybody with copyright issues, right?" So they go through the court process, they win the lawsuit and all that. Congratulations. And then FUPA just disappears. And then Ethan's like, "Well, we had to use all the money for our," but that's not what you said. That's not what you said. And you know, he got a skin in a game or something to make money for the lawsuit and all this other stuff. And it's like, where's the money for everyone else that's going to court for copyright? And so I was criticizing him on that, and then he made a whole content nuke with lies and bullshit, you know, saying I killed YouTubers and just nothing was right, nothing was covered accurate, that everything was taken out of context to make me look as